In-house production.
All right, everybody, welcome to Giving Away Game. I am your host, as always, called the counselor, host, philanthropist, counselor, all that type of stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm here with my co-host, as always.
What's up, man? It's PRV, man. Make sure you go to my website, perfectvictorystl.com, man, for all things me. Make sure you can book me for hostings, you can book me for parties, whatever you need, man. Please make sure you go scroll down to my link for my clothing line success story, man. Make sure you pick up your merch, man. We're doing big things, man. Make sure I'm trying to be a philanthropist too, man. I'm trying to give back. Gotta give back to the community, man. That's real. That's real, man. I like that. I commend you for that.
Yeah, thank you, man. I do my best.
And we got our guests here. You know, we always keep a lovely, smart, you know,
intelligent,
up and coming, somebody
beautiful,
going good. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do, man. You know, that's what we do. We try to promote black businesses and everything like that. For sure, black female entrepreneurs and everything like that, man. So please tell us who you are, but we know what you do, everything,
social media
handles, everything. The era. That's
Thank you. Carl and Pierre, thank you so much for having me on today.
No
I
problem.
am Tiara Morris, owner of Fit Financial Consulting.
Mm-hmm.
We are a financial literacy firm focusing on building personal and business credit and teaching people how to also leverage that credit to get to the next level. Okay,
Right,
so that is pretty much how we connected.
Right.
And then I'm real estate investor, real estate developer. We're about to become restaurateurs, so there's a lot of things in the making, right? So you're right, in University City. So coming soon to area near you, right? And we also own a transportation company, so it's a lot going on. But
business.
Yeah, I got it going.
Yes.
That's what's up, man. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So, since we have a financial advisor, a financial guru on the show today, we're going to talk finances in relationships. That's what we're going to talk about today, y'all.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Tiara,
yes.
let's get right into it. So, if you had to put a percentage on it, how big of a percentage do you think finances play in relationships?
Wow, it's really large. When you look at, let's just say dating and marriages, you look at statistics, and I'm not going to rattle out any numbers right now.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay.
But you can find the information, right? But when you look at those statistics, when you look at a quote unquote, it's called arranged marriage. That's still a business within a marriage, okay? Because it's more called like an what we would understand as an arranged marriage, right? Those marriages last longer because it is a business, as opposed to marriages that are, oh, I'm so in love.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't have to go as far as when you look at those numbers. I mean, it's huge. It's not like 1 or 2%, and we're talking about in double digits. Okay, let's just say that, and it's large. There's a difference, and a huge difference. And even now, marriage counselors and relationship gurus are really talking that. If you look at your marriage in this way, and it actually is helping people to save their marriages. It's also helping people in the dating game too. So if you're single and you're viewing, not necessarily your it's kind of hard to do that when you're in just a relationship, but if you have that commitment, you can. Right? And you can have this understanding, and that all comes from just that mindset of treating this relationship like a business. So it's huge. We should all do it.
Yeah. I think most of the time, if you think of it as a business, like everybody know their role, like it's an understanding, and you can it ain't just about romance and the love and the feeling. We understand our roles, understand what to do, understand procedures and everything. I agree. I always believe that marriages is business anyway.
Because think about it. When someone in corporate America, or not even corporate America, you go to work, you have these meetings, you have to communicate certain pieces of information to make things flow right. You have, and there's a plan. You got this plan. So, and then you strategize. Think about all of that you do on your job,
On your job,
right?
right.
And not talking about anything. We're not talking about being entrepreneurs here. We're just talking about when we go to the 9 to 5 and what we do for them. You should bring that same mentality into the relationship, and the communication is better. The understanding is there. Like, even in the dating pool, in the dating game, having that conversation. I know a lot of people don't like to. People would rather talk about religion and anything else and politics before they talk about finances. Think about it. You and your friends. Just think about our relationship with our own friends. How many times you talk about your credit?
That's true.
Yeah. Never.
Everybody's all embarrassed about this score.
Right.
That's a made up score. That if you talk about it, we might win together.
Yeah.
So do you think that when you look at relationships as a business and you kind of focus on that, do you think it detracts from the love at all? Do you think it takes away from the love? Because if you go into these meetings and you're trying to get this money and you're trying to build this empire and you're trying to build these finances, how much time do you have for romance and all that type of stuff? Like, do you think the love sacrifices at all? No?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It really depends on the two people involved, right? Do you like that person? You know if you like that person.
Right.
No, I mean, you might not go too far if you don't like that person, right?
I agree.
So you gotta kind of like being around that person. In my relationship, I am with this man 24/7. Yeah, I'm not saying we have to be together. I'm not saying he can't leave my side or I can't leave his side. That there's no freedom. But should we working side by side, grinding? We know our roles in each business. In each one, I understand my role. He understands his role. We already know this. So we're grinding side by side, getting to the money.
I like that. That's good. So tell us about your business. Tell us about all your ventures and what do you got going on? Because you have Fit Financial.
Yeah.
So
you got 17 businesses. So
please explain those and flex yourself.
Yeah,
Go
okay.
ahead, flex. Let me see something.
Okay, got you. Okay. So, Fit Financial Consulting, we absolutely started during the pandemic. I think I was about to tell you this story real quick,
Okay.
but what happened was I was in e-commerce, fitness enhancement apparel, right? All of my products came from overseas, China. And we all know what happened during the pandemic, okay? No need to explain all of that, right? So now I'm like, whoa, can't make any money. And, right before the pandemic, we had gone to the bank. We had this huge project in University City that we were trying to develop. And most of the time what happens with us is we are so afraid to go to the bank. And because, we're afraid to be turned down, but we were of the mindset, go to the bank and let's see what happens, right? And we were turned down, right? But they told us why we were turned down. It was because of our credit. Now, I'm not ashamed to say, listen, I thought not having any loans and credit cards and I don't want anybody was the best thing to do, right? And although we had this wonderful asset that we're going to use, I thought you could just use this collateral and listen, borrow against this, use some of this equity and let's go, right? No, it didn't work that way. And they said, basically broke it down like, listen, you want to borrow $500,000 and we don't even know if you want to pay back, you can pay back $500,000. I'm like, but duh, I spend cash on everything, right? Set out to just, find some help, like what can we do? Because this pandemic is here, we're trying to, get this project going so we can move what we're trying to do anyway, right? And we decided to get help. And in the process of getting help, I realized that people around me didn't know what I was learning. And I thought that I was really financially literate. Pay your bills on time, and all this. Man, listen, you cannot pay your bills, meaning your electric, gas, and all that good stuff, and still have good credit. You know what I mean? It was explained to me the other way around.
Right.
So setting out to, get this help and decided I'm going to help other people. I'm going to help people to understand, man, forget that. The whole thing changed. Now, prior to the pandemic, we were focused on building business credit. Because to be honest, I didn't want to do my personal credit. I don't want to do the work, okay? I didn't really think that it was important. Let me do the business credit. So I understood the process in building business credit. I was going to use all of that for that, but we already know things got slowed down, and it was everyone had to make this shift and re-strategize. And so setting up this company and just being able to help hundreds buy houses, be ready. You know, in this housing market, they were getting ready, and some of my clients were with me a whole year. But at the end of that year, they had credit. They can go buy a house in Texas where they wanted to be. They can go, you know, buy the cars at lower interest rates. I was able to tell them, don't go to the car dealership and buy that car. Go to your bank and get that check and then negotiate that price of that car. What? Stop working harder. Let's work smarter. Now we are expanding now. I was only focused on personal credit. We're expanding to include business credit. To help those to understand how to build it. We have that program, you know, getting set up to be able to help people literally walk them from the inception and the thought of having a business to literally, I can't put a time frame on it because it really depends on the person, but to literally having available business credit. And I'm not talking about PG, meaning put your name on the line. I'm talking about credit to go do and make the moves we need to do. That's the problem. But what's happening is most of us fund our businesses right out of our pocket. Why? Did you just see them give $60 billion to Ukraine?
Right.
Don't you know they printing dollars every day? So why are you not going to get yours?
Right.
Why are you funding this? Why are you not using somebody else's money to fund this? The money that they're printing every day. Come on now.
Because we don't know any better, man. We was never taught.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know this.
It wasn't taught
Like,
better.
I thought paying bills helped your credit too. And you know what? When I raised my hand, when you said something about not having debt, paying off everything, you thought that was like good.
Yeah.
And I remember I was getting a new car, and I had closed all my credit cards there. I closed these credit cards off, and my score go skyrocket. So I closed six. Okay, I closed like 6 credit cards.
Oh my God.
I went to that dealership, and the lady was like, your credit score is she said it was like 666. It was like 666. I was like, dang, I ain't dropped like it was just 7. So she was like, you didn't know it was like that? And I was like, no. She thought I was lying. I said I didn't know.
Right.
Because I didn't understand how credit worked.
Yeah.
I didn't know like leaving the credit cards up actually looks better than them being gone.
Because it was the history.
Right.
We had built up all this history with those companies, and your payments. So it's not only the time that you lost; it was those payments reporting. Payments are 35% of your score. When you lost all, not just one account, but multiple.
Yeah, like multiple. I closed like at least 5. At least 5 I closed. And I thought no one told me that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my mama didn't tell me, like, I don't know if she understood credit.
She probably did. And not saying this in a negative way. Can I explain why most of us don't? Well, we already know there's this secret, right? We know that people with bad credit carry the banks. I mean, it doesn't make sense to teach you about credit, right? So that's the first thing. But do you know that credit scores are only, I mean, they were born in 1993.
What?
Really?
Yes. Actually born in 91. They did not start appearing on credit reports until 1993. Before that,
like
it was a
racist.
credit profile. And the reason they had to go to the scoring system because there was so much racism happening in it. You already know women, there was a time when women couldn't even get credit unless she was married. She needed her husband or her father to sign on. This was only 40 years ago.
Yeah, I heard about this.
So let's, you know what I mean? Let's understand this is not long ago, like, right? But now, then there was like, okay, there was these laws, acts passed, right? FCRA and all of that, right? Those were passed and said, you can't be doing that, right? You can't be basing credit on religion and race and all that stuff, but they were still having it, credit through the credit profiles. Now, we went to the scoring systems, the FICO score, which is the Fair Isaac scoring system, right? They basically came up with this scoring system, and that's when it happened. I wasn't introduced to the credit score till 2 years after I graduated high school. Now I'm telling my age right now, right? I graduated in 91, the year that they were born. I went to a car dealership in 1993, the year that they appeared on your credit reports, right? And I wanted to buy a car. And he said, you know what? You don't have any credit. You don't have a score. I said, what is that?
What is the score?
what is a score? And he said, you don't have any score. Can your father, or somebody's co-sign? I was like, no. And he said, well, yeah, you need a score. I was like, well, how do I get a score? Like, no one, that's when I was introduced to a credit score. Now, of course, as the years go on, you start hearing about it. You hear your parents talking about it. But really, no one knows anything about this.
Right.
This is really new that people are really saying, listen, this is what you got to do. Let me map out a plan for you. And that's really now what happens based on your life. Let me see, what are your goals? And let's map out a plan that works for you. Somebody can make I hope people can stop thinking that it's all about the amount you make a year. It has nothing to do with it. How much credit will they give you? That's what's important.
Yeah, because I always heard spend their money, don't spend your money. Because I always heard like you should never use your debit card. Because I had no idea about that. They say you should always use credit cards.
And then pay.
And then pay the credit card. Which helps your credit.
With the money that you're going to spend.
Which was anyway.
And then guess what? You you protect your money because banks aren't giving. If there's a fraud on your bank account, the banks not giving.
They only want to insure you $1,000.
Maybe depending on the bank that you go with,
True.
right?
Yeah.
So they're not. Protect your money. Connect your bank account to the credit card and pay that. But use the credit card. You can call a credit card company. Hey, I can do this. We got you. Cutting it off. Let me get you a new one. Let's get your money back on there for you. And it's no questions. It's all done, right? But the bank is like, wait a minute. It took, $1,001. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And it's all this red tape. Come on. Protect the money.
Yeah.
Protect
So
the money.
so in your business, you say you help people financially. So do you help fix credit?
Yes. Personal and business credit. Fixing and building. So, repairing, whatever, right?
Make sure I get your call before you leave.
Right. So yes, helping to fix and repair credit, business and personal. Everybody's situation is different. It's so different, but people are usually too embarrassed to ask for it. I tell my story because I want people to understand you don't have to be embarrassed.
Right.
I'm 33 years old and I don't know anything about this. I was over 40 when it happened for me. So,
Yeah.
we at some point we have to realize, I'm a mom of 4. I'm a grandmother. Do I get, I'm too, am I not, do I care about them? Let's ask yourself that. You care about the next generation or the one after that? Like, which one do you care about? Because at some point we have to get educated. At some point we can't keep saying, I don't know, I didn't know. Listen, it's Google. There's too many YouTube videos. Do you want to know? How bad do you want to know?
Right. So ain't no excuses.
That's important.
Sure.
That is. That's
Financial literacy, that's definitely important. I didn't realize how important it was because I always thought it was how much you made, how much you put away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You pay your bills.
Don't worry about credit. Just if you buy the car in cash, do it. Like you always thought like it was all about money.
Why financially strapped? Now I'm gonna just throw numbers out. Right? I'm just basic numbers. I'm not counting anybody's pocket. You go buy a car for $10,000, right? And you cash out on it, right? What else could you do with that $10,000?
Everything.
Right.
Anything.
You can literally catapult your generational wealth with we know this, right? With $10,000. But you went and bought a car, a depreciating asset. Use their money, build your credit, and take that $10,000 and go do something else that's going to catapult you so that if you want to pay that off in 12 months, that's fine because this business venture is going to do that.
Right, go pay it off for you, right? Yeah, true.
And then worst case scenario, let's say the business venture doesn't pan out. You got a car and good credit. Let's just put it like that. And I didn't put it on that.
Right.
I did this, but it's the shift in the thought. Our parents thought this way because they had to think that way. They were treated differently.
True.
Yeah.
Their parents were treated differently, so they saw it differently. If you can't afford it, don't buy it.
Don't buy it. Yeah.
If you can't, don't do this.
Don't get all them credit cards.
Don't be getting all them credit cards.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Save your money. I'm not saying don't save your money, but that's you can't save your way out of poverty.
True.
Nobody has ever
had learned that too. Yeah,
you can't save your way out of poverty. You better that dollar needs to be a new employee. You need to understand that every dollar every hard-earned dollar is an employee of yours. And if it's not making money for you, they are not doing their job. Did I talk about the business?
Dollars.
God. Yeah.
It's a business.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Did you see that white Jeep in the driveway?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of our new employees. That was Ruby.
And I was gonna say I want a Jeep too.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Ruby, and we have Rudy. That's another employee. Do you understand?
Nothing wrong with that, man.
This is not-
I want some rubies and juice.
Do you understand? This is
Jamal's and Malcolm's and all that.
it goes back to, how much do you want to know? How it goes back to really. Now we're going back into the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't we be having fun? Why wouldn't we have fun whenever I go on a trip with this man? It's a business meeting and a tax write-off. Why wouldn't I? Every time I go buy a car with this man, it's a tax write-off. It's not a liability on my name. My credit isn't bad. And I don't mean it like it's on him either.
No,
like it's,
yeah.
we're like, it's not.
Right,
I'm
right.
being selfish here.
Right.
The business
It's the business,
and
yeah.
just all around. And then when one of us when we have to PG, because at a certain point when you're asking for a certain dollar, you have to say, okay, put your name on the dollar line. They're not just giving it away like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then your credit comes into play, right? Your personal credit comes into
Mm-hmm.
play. And when that happens, that's when their business partner comes into play. we're gonna tit for tat, right? Hey, your credit on this one for the next 6 months. And then after 6 months, you're gonna rest. And then it's my turn, and I'm gonna run the credit on this one. And then after 6 months, we're gonna rest. And at that time, your credit has been resting. You understand? This is a game. And we better learn to play it quick.
Mm-hmm.
They already told you with Roe v. Wade and all this other. Man, we better learn to play this game quick.
Yeah, man.
And however you're going to do it, and everybody has different lanes. And God gives us all visions. And it's not for, my vision wasn't for you to know, wasn't for him, and all of that. Your vision, we're giving us our own personal vision, and it's only for us to know. And follow your vision. But understand, stop thinking about the money. Go get it.
Right. Yeah. That's I want to get to the point where I can start using business credit to buy stuff. Like, cause I didn't even know you can do that. Cause I knew another girl. She fixes credit, and she was like buying cars in her credit fixing LLC or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you even do that? Like, they just use your business credit. You file it, and you get your credit, your tax ID and everything like that, and you just.
And it's not just even just that, because it is diligence. It takes diligence, because business can have bad credit and good credit too. They can have high interest rates and low interest rates too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your goal is to put yourself in a position so the business also has good credit, the best credit. So you are getting the lower interest rates with that business credit too.
Mm-hmm.
You can get high stuff too. I mean, it can be high because it's like, yes, I'll give your businesses credit, but I'm gonna charge you a little more because you don't have enough accounts report. Now I don't know if other people have taken a chance on your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you can also go to a point where you are getting those lower interest rates, and you can demand them too based on that business credit. I love to ask this question of people all the time, and some of my clients also know I ask this question. If Apple does everything on business credit, Walmart, who else? I mean, Nike.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally look these people up and look at their business credit, their DMV. You can do all of that. You can find it. Man, Walmart has so many accounts, it's ridiculous. 80% of Walmart's business is bought on credit. Net 30 and net 60 accounts. Basically, they've sold it before they even paid for it.
Wow.
If Apple is taking all of their profit and stockpiling it, but they borrowed all of this money, what makes people think that they shouldn't do it too?
Yeah.
And they're holding their dollars over here and saying, let me use these other people money, because we're going to see if this next scale is going to work. What? And why are we funding our businesses out of our pocket? We scraping together to... No, I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
It's why I do what I do.
Yeah, it just comes down to we don't know any better.
I know.
We just don't know any better.
Ignorance to the to the fact. Yeah.
And think of the things you could do, like with, that's what's, allowing people to be able to get the Great Resignation.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing about the Great Resignation, leaving their jobs. People are leaving because they're figuring this out.
Mm-hmm.
You printing all this money, give it all away. Man, you better give me $1 or $2.
Yeah.
That's real.
They don't want to give us reparations, but you better go get them.
It's out there. It's out there to get.
Go get them. So, yeah.
Mm.
So let me ask you guys this, because I know you guys, you're listening to me right now. I know you said, let me ask you this. You're not married,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in a relationship.
I'm married.
You're married.
Yes.
I know which one. I know you're not. Okay, got you.
Mm.
But in your relationship, when you're in the relationship, is finances, is that the main, like, and not trying to get in your business if this is like, one of those things, but is that one of those subjects that gets to be touchy? Like, is it hard to talk about, when the bills due, when you're sitting down and talking about or goals, is that hard? And when that happens, that's when that opportunity is to treat that conversation like that business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in your marriages, would you say that's a hard conversation to have, or no?
I think it's only hard if you don't have the money. So if y'all both, so if y'all are struggling, both are struggling,
Mhm.
of course it's a hard conversation.
Right.
But if y'all both making money, and you can just be like, oh, this is due here, pay this. Okay, cool. Of course, it's not necessarily a conversation needed to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when you poor, you might live in the projects with your girlfriend. Finances is a touchy subject because where the money coming from, I ain't got it, you ain't got it, how we go get it? You know what I mean? So of course it's gonna be touchy then.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, how you?
I don't think it's like with my wife. Me and my wife, it's not touchy. We our communication is really good. We talk about everything.
Yeah.
Now, are we struggling? Yeah, we struggling. You know what I mean? Like of course we're not where we want to be, or anything like that, but like I said, communication is really good. We talk about it all. We have a plan, but we do need help executing the plan, or more knowledge to be able to execute that plan.
Or strategize.
That too.
It's that, it's really more the strategy.
True.
It really is the strategy if you think about it. Like usually, we can say, we even have our type moments, right? We have our type moments, but no one else would know. Nobody goes, like, listen, I'm on my last dollar. Nobody's doing that, right? But we have our type moments, but we also know we've already put in these strategies to be able to not have those type moments. So, we put these different things into place. When everybody during the pandemic was, crying about, not saying this in a bad way, but everybody's like, oh my God, there's no toilet paper, we can't get any sanitizing products, we can't get any paper products. We never complained about it because everything we got was through the business. We were building business credit already. And so we were able to order and it was delivered right to the door. So we never had a shortage. Now, for us businesses, they did reduce it, saying, you can only do 2 a week. No problem, right? But you're delivering it, and we didn't have to pay for it. I owe 60 days to pay for those products. But we didn't go without sanitation products, toilet, all those things that, and even in your social media, I was saying, Lord, if y'all don't build this business credit, you would not be saying this. We wouldn't have to run to Walmart or things like that. And that all came from putting ourselves in position in advance.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you got this wealth of knowledge that you clearly have, what made you want to share it? What made you want to give it back to other people? What made you want to help other people?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking that. It's when I realized, those things were, a lot of times we are so afraid to move forward because of setbacks. We already know racism and things like that we have to contend with, right? And so we're afraid to take those leaps and bounds. Not that we're not smart or don't have the ingenuity or the capabilities at all, right? But it's just those things, those hindrances, right? We took that leap of faith to go see. And when we were denied, I was like, dang, I'm not one to lose. I don't take no for an answer. And so that's that. But then I watched, first of all, my own children. You're not financially literate. We got to fix this. Because if you're not, then my grandchildren won't be. And we're going to keep on repeating this. And I couldn't share it with the world and not tell my babies, let's go.
Right.
And 2 of my babies are business owners and well at it, right? With good credit. The other 2, It's another story. But you know, it's not that they don't know, and they already know. Like you can't come get $20 from me, and you didn't go get that credit card I told you to get.
Yeah.
And I don't mean break yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean build yourself. That dollar you earn needs to make more money for you continuously. So what made me want to do that, and then I'm watching people really suffer online. It really hurt my feelings. It was hurting my own feelings with myself.
Mhm.
I know as a single mother what it feels like to not know when that dollar's coming from. And I'm not getting ready to cry or anything, but I know what that feels like.
Mhm.
And only feeling like if I don't go to work, I don't get any money. I can't get sick. I can't have a car accident. I can't break my leg and be slayed up for some
Man, you
weeks.
ain't lying about
I
that.
can't.
There's no
God, please
Right.
don't let anything happen. My
Right.
baby can't. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
That is the worst feeling to have to wait 2 weeks to fix your tire because I couldn't swipe it.
Right. And I can speak from there from being a son watching my mother
That is,
be like that. Yeah.
you know what I mean? That takes years off of our lives. Like,
Yeah.
seriously. And I know if if I had to deal with that 20 years ago, my oldest is 31. So if I had to deal with that 20 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, I know it's moms right now still dealing with that
Absolutely.
right now.
Mhm.
Right now. It's so many people. I mean, let's just talk about a $500 credit card. Let's just talk about a $500 credit card,
Mhm.
right? How many times will $500 have made you get to the next, helped you to get to the next? Think about in your life, $500. When the average American don't even have 1,000 saved up. Come on.
It's sad, man.
So,
And it's not meant to be sad.
Right.
What I'm saying is, though, it's an answer. We don't have to do this. And because of that, I said, if I was doing this, it's so many mothers out. I gotta tell them. I gotta tell these people, oh, and if you want to start a business, let's go. Stop thinking that I need $10 and where am I gonna get the money? It's there for you. They got too many grants for black women. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, this organization giving out $25,000 a month. Just sit down and write your paper. I don't care if it takes you 6 months. But do it. Is it $25,000 worth it to you?
Right. Yeah.
I definitely commend you for that because a lot of times, like, especially my people, I love my people, but, you know, we can be a little selfish sometimes. You know, we get wealth or knowledge, you know, we get ahead of the game, we get a curve, we get an angle, and we keep it to ourselves because we're so worried about building ourselves up, you know, trying to get us to the next step. You know, so to have the foresight, the wherewithal to, you know, share that with other people and help them get to that next step too, that's big.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I
that's
truly
For
appreciate it.
sure, man.
Honestly, I get my biggest reward in this, maybe, you know, is hearing people tell me what they've been able to do.
Mhm.
Testimony.
To their
Testimonies,
testimonies. I mean, I get texts, you know, get a text, I get, you know, ask my fiance, I get excited. Sometimes I cry because I'm very passionate. Like, I know when they called me that first time what their voice sounded like. I know the work they put into it. Carol got a $8,000 credit card. Like, I know what that means for this person.
Mhm.
Oh my God, I know. Oh my God. You know what I mean? But I know they put in that work too. So that's my biggest reward, is to hear somebody. Now, to be honest with you, is it work? Yes. Yes, it's work.
Mhm.
But because here's why it's work for the person. No one can build your credit for you. No one can fix your credit for you. The Fair Credit Reporting Act says that you as the consumer have to be the person to dispute an item or to be corresponded with credit reporting agencies. They cannot dispute with anyone else on your behalf. It has to be you, right? So even when you hire a company to help you to they send that letter to you.
Yeah.
They are responding on behalf of you, but they're not putting their letterhead and all that. They're acting as if they are you.
Yeah.
Okay? You as a consumer are not learning anything when someone else is doing it for you.
Yeah.
You don't you
That's
just
the
sit
con.
back, your credit score goes up, it's a 750 now, and you didn't learn anything. You go out, you buy a house and a car, and you max out your credit cards, and you're wondering why it's 585 now. Not saying anything's wrong with buying a house and car. Not. I'm saying you didn't know what to do to hold on to it, because when you bought that house and car, and you got those credit cards, you should be in the 800 club with all that. But yet, you didn't know how to hold it and to build on that. And that's where we mix up. Because what did you learn when someone else did it for you? That is not the program we have.
Okay.
That's good.
I have another question. How you say you have a fiance, correct?
Yes.
So how did your fiance like help you along this journey?
So when we got together 6 years ago, and we actually went to high school together, but we weren't, dating or anything. Didn't run in the same circles, but we went to high school together, and graduated the same year. But when we decided to be a couple, one of the things he asked me, literally, and this is even before he asked me what my credit score was, right? Oh my God, that's the first conversation. But he asked me, what do you want to do? And at the time I was working for Charter, which is now Spectrum, but they were Charter at the time.
Which is the devil, by the way.
Right.
Charter's the devil. But go ahead. I hate Charter. I'm sorry.
I don't work with everyone, right. So I was working for them, and he says, what do you want to do? And I said, I really want to be, invest in real estate. I want to do, I want to rehab. I want to get my hands dirty. Like, I want to, demo. I want to, and I was like, Nicole Curtis, I love watching her. I want to restore some homes like her, and I was like, yeah, I want to, and my mother was into construction. She, long ago, so I was really into construction and the beauty of, landscapes. Anyway, so we decided, okay, well, shoot, let's start a development company. So we came up with a name and we started. We both invested, right? So set up the bank account, everything, but we didn't do anything. And I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm saying this for a reason, because when you have an idea, start that business. Even if it's not ready to go, start that business, because that time matters. So that's what we did. Boom, the development company is established. Time goes on. I run for U City School Board. He's supportive there. I started my e-commerce business. This is before pandemic, and he supported me there. I wanted to start this business. Right. I'm still at Charter, and I wanted to leave Charter. I absolutely hated my job. But throughout this process, he asked me, what's your credit score?
The
I
question.
can't believe you.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm like, I don't know. He's like, do you have credit card? I'm like, yeah, I think. He's like, pull it up. Pull it up. And I'm like, so embarrassed. Like, ugh. I think I was like a 480 something. Because what had happened, I filed bankruptcy maybe 10 years earlier, and I was stagnant. I was scared. Literally. So what? I had nothing on my credit report. It wasn't anything negative. It was just the fact that I had nothing. I was like a baby again, because I was so afraid to do anything. After filing that bankruptcy, everything came out of my pocket. Everything was, I went to work, I saved up for whatever it was, right? And he's like, well, what you need is, you need a credit card. And I was like, oh.
Right.
No, I don't want to, no, I'm not good with them. He said, listen, I'm going to help you do it. I said, I'm not going to get approved for a credit card. Let me see Credit Karma. Yep, Capital One is going to give you one. Boom. Yep, you're approved. I'm like, oh. I'm like, how much? Like $500. They sent me a little $500 card. And I'm like, oh, cool, right? Still afraid of using this card, right? I'm like so afraid.
That's the thing, you get the card scared to use it.
So my son that particular summer needed to go to a music camp. And I couldn't really leave work to pick him up, so I used Uber. And I would use Uber with my credit card, right? That was the way I paid for it. And that's, my son would say, Mom, I'm out. I would send the Uber right to him with my app, and I knew he got home, like, right? And, but I would pay this credit card every 2 weeks because I was putting Uber on there. No one told me anything. That card literally at 6 months went to $2,300, and I was hooked. They went, I didn't ask for it, they gave it to me. So it went from 500 to 23 based on the way that I paid it. And it's like, ding, 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 ding. Wait a minute. That's when it all started. So, he wasn't judgmental about the fact that, it's just, but I'm sure if I wasn't interested in doing better, that might have been a problem, right?
For sure.
Right. But because, we're having these conversations. I wanted better. I just I didn't have that support to do better. A lot of guys will be like, I support you. Do you really? We supported those, and then we support each other. I'm not saying it's just on one-sided, but so he, he pulled it out of me. Right?
That's good.
That's great.
Good.
That's great. Good job, Beyonce.
Good
job,
job.
Beyonce.
Making you better and teaching
Yeah.
you things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know women say they want to be able to learn from their man. Like, that's like, I understand that.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That really is, you know, I'm not a relationship guru or anything like that, but I've been in relationships, been married, you know, all that good stuff, right? So I really don't. One of the things that we said that we would do, we know we're getting married, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to pressure this man. He doesn't have to pressure me. Win. Because you know what we said? We're not bringing anything from that previous one. Our credit is going to be A1. Our taxes are going to be paid up. You get what I mean? We're not bringing any. We're still in business together now.
Mm-hmm.
We got the paperwork. Everything is legal. Nothing's, you know, like we just verbally said something, right? But with this, when we have that union, when that, it's going to be not just, you know, all what we're building, but what we've released too.
No old baggage.
No old baggage. Like I'm telling you, I don't even want my old married name on my credit report. I got rid of it. Like, don't be referring me to that. I'm this right now. No, because you know what? Legally, they shouldn't. I don't even want the old address I used to live at. Do you get what I'm saying? Erase it all. Start fresh where we are now.
That's big.
I don't want anything. So we said when we come together, because we both been married, right? We come together. We're not, no. Slate is not just clean, like, oh, we don't have any, you know, exes and all that stuff. Okay, that we get that part. That's obvious, right? What about your credit? What about your finance? What about your taxes? I want to bring this on you. What about your child support? Not telling no business. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's the issue, but I'm saying, but what about that? Because when you become married, it becomes one with yours too. And I don't want to bring that on you.
Ask them hard questions. Those are hard questions.
Yeah.
They do need
Why
to be asked.
not? Somebody has a problem with that, man. They're not on the same level.
Yeah.
If that's your level.
It's
That's all I'm
gonna
saying.
come up eventually. You can't get around it. It's a conversation you gotta have. It's gonna either go come today, tomorrow, or 10 years from now. Y'all in Salvation Army, big tap dancing for change.
You get pulled over and go to jail for child support.
Because I mean, I tell people all the
why
time.
you going to jail for child support? You get what I mean? Like, and you all 4 years in the relationship, why did you tell me about that? We could have been caught it. Like, and those are the things that cause issues. Those are the financial issues in marriages. There was no communication. There's where it comes back to that, or relationships in general, right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay, let me put my head up. Let me figure out how we gonna do this. Let's figure this out. Let me get my pen and paper. But if you don't, give me a chance to make my own judgment, man. Don't do it for me.
So do you feel like, because finances are so important, I think on one show you said that most marriages, 50% of marriages end because of finances or something like that.
Well, most of them end because of finance. No, 50% of marriages end in divorce.
Right.
But most of the time it's because of finances. And it's because of stuff like that. Like people don't communicate and don't say nothing.
Right.
Or you could just be, y'all came together poor and just, y'all ain't trying to get no business credit, we just go love each other and we go figure it out. It never works that way.
It doesn't work.
It don't work that way. That's all fairy tale Disney. That don't work that way.
Do you understand like what a woman would really, I don't know, even women or men, because to me, marriages and relationships are a two-way thing. I'm not the one, like, I know that, you know, this man will carry me from, if I could look, if I sat back and did this, he would carry me and would do everything. I would refuse to watch him run himself into the ground doing it all. And why are we waiting longer to get there when two is better than one? Why are we not working together equally, right? So I'm not the one that believes in that. But when it comes to finances, there's nothing worse than two people looking at each other talking about what are we going to do? And not being able to, nobody has an answer.
And nobody has an answer.
You know what kind of resentment that is?
Yeah, that's what happens.
Like, I not only have to take care of these, but I got to take care.
You too.
Because I'm this.
Are we trying to?
I gotta take care of these babies and I gotta take care of your behind too. Yeah. Like, that is terrible. And I'm not talking about just from a woman's standpoint. I'm talking about from a man's standpoint too, because it can be a two-way thing, right? So That's terrible.
Mhm.
But at least if you have some type of strategy, something that you can kind of fall back on. You know what, babe? The gas bill was a little higher than what we thought it was going to be. No worries, baby. You just have to put it on the credit card. Well, pay it off. But you didn't have to go get a payday loan.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Do you understand just those small little things
Mhm.
that now you got to get a payday loan? Now the next check is gone, and the next one after that, because it's going to take them like 99 checks to pay off that $100 pay. Literally.
Now you trying to get a title loan. Right. And
I fell into that trap before.
I never
Man,
tripped
all
off
of
how
us
many.
have.
I never
That's
tripped
why
off how
I'm
many
talking
them those are around in predominantly black neighborhoods.
Oh yeah.
Them payday
By
loans,
design.
look, it's by design.
Loans, yep, all that.
Everything, all these independent businesses shut down, but them didn't.
Because where was people going to get the money from? That they did that $1,000
It's
savings that
all
they
part of the
didn't have?
game. All part of the game, dog.
Like,
It really is a scam.
It is.
Scam.
It's a scam.
it's a scam.
It's
It's a sad scam.
Yeah.
It really is. And that's one of those things that just hurt me to my soul. I wish I could go yank people. Don't do it.
Don't
you
do
know,
right.
but people
Yeah.
are desperate, right?
Yeah.
People really need things. You have no idea how many people call me and say, I gotta move, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and I need my credit repaired. Okay, so when do you need this done? The next 60 days, and I can't take that client.
Yeah.
I get that you're in a
There's no way.
bind,
There's no way.
but I'm not. There's some people that may, and I'm not. But I'm telling you, I am not the one to help you because I will not guarantee anything because it's just impossible. You cannot.
Right.
But on top of that, that's desperation, and they do anything. They don't listen, and I can't work with that, because my reputation is on the line. You're gonna say that it didn't work when you're not telling the whole story that you went and applied because you got 13 credit points from the first round of letters,
Right.
and you went and applied for some furniture, and now they dropped you 97. Like what?
Wow.
You get what I'm trying to say? But you're not gonna tell that part.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? So I can't work with somebody that needs this done in the 60,
Yeah.
90 days and all that. Like, I
don't
need to
work
know
like
that
that.
you're going to give us at least 6 months. Come on,
Yeah,
let's work.
at least 6 years.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 'cause I heard people say like, give me at least a year, and like you should be good.
Which is really true.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish that people could. There are some people that have with me focused on that year and have seen that result. Like,
Yeah.
they are saying things like, I've never had a credit card. But see, I don't just stop you at, that credit card, right? I'm going to say, okay, now we're going to strategize because that $5,000 credit card is not enough. So in the next 91 days, we're going to steal some more money from them and from these people. Now we're going to go on an application spree. But we're only going to get one hit on our credit reports. Or two. You know what I mean? And that's where strategy from someone like myself comes from. But everybody's situation is different. There's no like, okay, in 91 days, we're going to do this. Everybody is in 91 days, Or now I have my clients calling all of the credit card companies, because not all of them, but some of them, who have been with certain credit card companies for a little while, and their interest rates are higher because they were newer and more risky when they started, but you've been with them for a little while. Call them and ask them for a reduction in that interest rate. How are we going to get this through this recession? And some of us can't pay off that credit card debt, but we can ask for a lower interest rate. We can, especially if we've been paying these people and giving them their money.
I bet you people don't know that.
No, please,
Right.
please
Well,
ask.
you probably just expect them to say no. Because how they going to make their
I
money?
mean, because guess what? When they do say no, then almost, I'm not going to say all of them, exactly one of them, but most of them have what is called a reconsideration department. So if you've ever been denied, you call and say, wait a minute, I am going to stake my claim. Let me put my glasses on. I have been with you for 7 years. I have never been, sorry guys. Sorry. I have never been late. I have, I've been, blah, blah, blah. I've been loyal, blah, 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 blah. I always use my credit card. I always do this. And you said no. Why? Let me reconsider it. 50% of the time they say they're going to do it. But why wouldn't you ask? We don't know to go ask. Take the glasses out the
So with finances being such a big component of relationships, do you think that, when we meet somebody new and we start to learn them, we start trying to We ask questions to, get to know them better, to establish feelings, things like that. Do you think those conversations should trend more towards finances first and then build the love after that? Do you think, the love has to be there first and then you build the finances after?
I think equally. I think, and I know that's not fair, okay? I think love and not necessarily love, I think like is important in it, right? I need to know if I'm even like you, right? I'm gonna be the move forward.
You can love somebody
and not
I ain't like
Yes, you
them, right?
can,
I mean, I'm big on the like piece, right?
For real.
You can love somebody and not like them,
Yeah.
right? Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And but it's the liking thing, right? And if you like someone, you should be able to communicate. And if you guys like each other, you should be able to communicate. Now there may be some give and take, and you have to learn that communication style, the two of you, because there's like again that give and take. But to me, I think it should be at the same time, because in those conversations, it should come up. Anybody that is uncomfortable, I'm not saying on the first or the even 10th, conversation, we're talking about credit. But I do want to know though. I want to know that it's important to you. I want to know that you not necessarily that you have to be this guru or you have knowledge about it. And I'm not just talking about credit. I'm talking about what are your goals? Are we even on the same page?
Right.
Like in what we're trying to do. I can be this super ambitious, outgoing, outspoken. My goal is to move to the movie theater. And I want to be in front of the camera, right? And this person can be like an introvert. Oh my God, I can't stand that. What happens when we go on the red carpet? You're gonna be behind the camera. Like, do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
I need to even know that. But then further, I want to build, and knowing that finances cause problems. Why not nip that in the bud?
True.
Like early. If this, you know you're a person that I'll tell you why. Even how much more finances are in relationships. These dating sites are now testing out ways to, when you're interested in someone, there can be a soft pull. Now, they won't show you their actual credit, but they'll show you a profile. It's
Really?
important, yes.
Wow. Are you
Yes.
serious?
No, I'm serious.
Wow.
Even on my page, Fit Financial Consulting, I got a video on it. The different way, when our credit is checked and we don't even know it, right? And I'm not saying it's a soft pull. It doesn't affect you. It's a soft pull. But let's say you the way you know that your credit has even been checked, even with a soft pull, we know we're notified of hard pulls. But there's a section on your credit report that shows you when there was a soft pull, and it doesn't affect your score, but it's promotions and things like that. Well, now these dating sites, because credit is important, especially since the pandemic, it rose. Finances rose. The importance of under millennials and things like just the all around finances and relationships and marriages, that interest rose during the pandemic. So that's what forced these dating sites to say, listen, well, we're going to give you an opportunity to see, and I don't know exactly what the information is that they get. I'm sure they, let me tell you, what is that? You've got to pay for it. It's another service you have to pay for. But you can do a soft pull and get a snapshot of what their credit is like.
Wow.
So what does it show you?
I'm sure their name.
Does it show like a number? It
No,
just shows.
it doesn't give you the score, but it gives you this low, medium, like this range. Doesn't say where they are.
Like a meter.
Yeah.
Jamal is between a 322 and a 478.
Yeah, right.
So a girl can be like, yeah, he's tall, he's sexy,
but he don't pay his bills.
That's crazy.
But girl, his credit bad.
Man, so another way to disqualify you off the bat.
And I'm not saying everyone is doing it, because it's a service you have to pay for, and maybe
Right.
it's not important. I'm just saying, but why would they offer this service if it's not important to people?
They know it's important.
Yeah.
Or if it's not there, it's just another marketing tool to use to get some money.
So, what's your credit look like?
Because it's really probably for women to check men's credit score.
No, but it's
I'm talking about that's probably who they targeted.
No
They want
way.
women to do it.
No, I'm gonna be.
If they could want men, they go care about a woman credit.
Right, yeah.
I don't think they're
Did you just hear
believe.
me say my fiance asked me what my credit score was?
He's phenomenal.
He's a different kind of man.
And that's he probably been through. They say he was married before, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
trial and tribulation. So trial and error, like you go ask, like
Yeah.
so. I can't see nobody at 30 years old saying, man, she fine. And he a nuclear physicist. And he make money, so he probably don't care like what her credit look like.
My 21-year-old asks girls, not necessarily about their credit.
But look what mama is.
But look what mama is.
And I know, but it's the thing, it's changing. The paradigm is changing. It's really important to people. And I'm not saying it should be the reason that someone, maybe just knowing that this is a weakness of theirs and they may need your help.
True.
It doesn't mean that's a reason to say, no, I'm not going to date him.
Right.
Yeah.
It may mean, it may be to them say, you know what I mean? It's just one red flag, but once it gets to 3, maybe not. But 1 is not so bad. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily a reason, because what if he said that about me? You know what I mean? Like seriously, we would not be where we are.
Right.
And I mean, even business wise, the accomplishments that we've made, you get what I mean? We needed each other. There's a give and take, right? So what if he said that about me? Like, oh Lord, 485, here we go, Lord. Like, what if he said that?
I guess you would want to know the why. Because I mean, if I did check a girl credit and I saw it was bad, or I saw the meter like, oh, it's kind of in the red a little bit. Let me hear her story. Maybe it's a story behind it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something happened. Maybe she had to take on her mother bills, and it could be a story too. And I can work with a story.
It could be that she used to be.
Yeah.
It's just right now when you check, this is where she.
Yeah.
She could have been.
Could have just bought a house or whatever, and
it's
it
just
dropped down.
So I'm not saying that's a reason to,
disqualify.
But it's those things. It might be something that when you do go on the date with a person or something like that, you want to, not that first date, but maybe some things we want to talk about. I like building my credit. What do you like doing?
Right.
How smooth is
What do
that?
you like doing?
So my parents tell my chick about credit score. What do you check?
So you ever heard of Credit Karma?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm doing nothing, checking my credit. So maybe you can ease into the conversation.
Because I tell young dudes now, like, fix your credit. Now that I understand a little bit more about credit, like, bro, make sure your credit good.
Yeah.
Make sure your girl credit good. Like, because it is important.
It's important, and it's like a win-win for everyone. Like, it's not even a thing to make anyone feel bad. It's like, get a jump start on it. So if we do decide we want to, be together and buy a house, it's like, you ready? You ready? Let's go. Not, oh, well, let's get ready. Let me drink this wine and get ready. Like, really, like, let's be ready. Let's stop trying to get ready. Let's be ready.
Let's be ready. Yeah. I saw a meme. It said, what would you rather have, $100,000 in cash or $100,000 in credit? And everybody kept saying cash, 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 cash. Everybody was like, you stupid. You better get the $100,000 credit. And I was like, why would I? But I would get the cash. I was thinking how they were thinking, like, I would just rather have the cash. And I started thinking, like, understanding credit, like, nah, I'd rather have $100,000 in credit. Yeah. I can make that work for me versus having the money.
Because the $100,000 in credit means somebody else will give you $100,000, and somebody else will give you $100,000. Matter of fact, that somebody else is gonna give you $300 because 3 people gave you $100,000.
Right.
What?
And,
why?
But see, that's no one understanding that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the known person wouldn't even. They'd be like, "Give me the check. This could be $100,000."
And I'm not. And of course, what we start thinking is, the first thing we start thinking is, how am I gonna pay it back? But you should have. Man, hold on now.
Right. Well, yeah, you gotta have a plan.
You gotta plan.
Yeah, you gotta have a plan.
What's
just
the
take the
business
loan
about?
out.
Man, we gotta have some type of plan here, right? I'm not saying go get this $100,000 available credit and just brighten it up and just blow it up.
You swipe it.
What are we doing with it, right? But that's that strategy and the plan. That's where it comes in. What are we doing? Remember, those dollars, you can make credit dollars work and make money for you too. You sure can. Yeah. You should be.
Because I just seen people who would get them big loans like that, file bankruptcy and do it all over again, and just find somebody to fix their credit, take the bankruptcy off, and just start over again.
And eventually, that's catching up with people because I'm hearing, I'm not saying any names or anything like that. And a lot of them don't really know what they're doing. I mean, if you ain't big and you ain't good in this guy. Matter of fact, look up Todd and Chrisley. Todd and Julie Chrisley.
I just saw them, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They go to jail,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, at some point it catches up with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And most of us are not that smart in white collar crimes, and we can hack
You-
systems and do
right,
all that and
right.
disappear and doing all that. At some point, it's going to catch up with you, and they will lock you up. They will, because you didn't use that money for PPP loan. Let's go. Let's go. I mean, you didn't use the money for what you said you were going to do. People understand, risk and things just don't work out. Right? Things don't work out. I took this $100,000. I said I was going to invest and do this business, and I was going to pay my employees. I was going to do this, and I was going to do this and have this business. And you did that, but things didn't work out. Hey, I mean, ask Oprah, ask anybody. How many times did they fail before they became successful?
Yeah.
The average millionaire is over 50. What are we rushing for?
Yeah, right. People don't understand that either. They don't get that either.
Well, I mean, learn something. Get good at it. Make mistakes. One of the people I love to follow online is Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Gary is so real because, he got his riches like during, he was smart enough to invest in Facebook at the beginning, right? One of those ones, right? And, but then he's just like this, not necessarily a business guru because he'll tell you in a minute. He's real big in telling like young people, listen, it's nothing wrong with working a 9-to-5 and building your business and building your legacy. Like, because it's not about making $1 billion. It's about freedom.
Financial freedom. Comfort.
And I'm not talking about even like it's about freedom. What does freedom look like to you? Freedom looks like to me is working on the beach.
Right.
When I want to.
Right.
And when I don't want to, I'm in the house on the beach. That's like my goal, right? Right?
Yeah.
So that's freedom to me, and it's coming. I see it. I already know it's coming. Everybody can talk about manifestation. That's not my forte. I do manifesting. I feel like, but I can't tell people I do it, right? I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah.
But that's freedom for me. What does it look like for you? It's not about the money. The money is going to come. Freedom is being able to teach people and do what I want to do and be able to do it on the beach. Literally, that's what it looks like for me.
That's what I want. I want a laptop on the beach.
Yep.
Work when I want to work.
But in the back, it's still making money. It's just going around.
Residual income.
It's just working. It's just because you put systems in place. You've done the hard work for the last 10 to 12 years. Because sometimes that's not how long it takes.
Yeah.
You did that. So when people, we already hear the stories. You don't know my story. You know the glory. You don't know my story. No, they didn't know the late nights and the grinding and all that.
The tears and the breakups and everything.
Absolutely. The project I was telling you about in the beginning. We've had people pull up on us and say, "Y'all still messing with this?" See, that's not the vision one for you. But I'm not here to impress you.
Right.
I do this for you. This is ours. What made me even feel even greater was I was able to meet with, I'm not going to say her name, but she's well known in the politics as well as she's a black queen. I love her. She's absolutely amazing. But she was well known in politics and she switched from politics, always in real estate and development. Very well known in St. Louis, right? North County, you name it, South County, doesn't matter. She's a sister that is doing her thing, right? But she does it quietly just because a lot of people feel like, I don't see it on Facebook. That ain't her. She is doing it. It's not talking and showing it in bright lights in the big city. Man, her stuff is real. And we walked in. I had the opportunity to meet with her last week before she left for vacation. And one of her projects was in her conference room, and it's in East St. Louis. And this building is a historic building. And she said, I've owned that building for 5 years. I've been working on this project to get, do some things with it for 5 years, and we're finally going to close at the end of August. What if she was working on your time, and my time, and somebody else's time? That was her vision. And when you see this, it's so gorgeous. Somebody's going to pass by this building and not think it belongs to this woman, because they're going to think it belongs to someone else. I'm just telling you. But she's been doing her thing, and that's who I want to connect with. That's who I'm you know what I mean? And this development, really understanding and learning. And if I was, all in my ego, I'd say, oh, you're not gonna do the same thing. No, no way. This is how can I help you, but I know the knowledge I get from you is gonna help me. Like, I'm not even worried about how can you help me. I know it's gonna come by just to be a byproduct of being around you, right? So we have to understand that we are not on anybody else's time but our own. When that vision is given to us, it's you. It's up to you.
Right.
He gave it to you. He ain't give it to nobody else.
Right.
Keep pushing.
For sure. That is.
Man, this has been the most informative hour of my life, baby. Man, you got some knowledge. For real. It's deep.
Yeah, that's so much, man. You need to write a book or
Deep,
something.
right?
Right. Well, that's coming. That is absolutely
write a book
coming.
for sure.
It's one of those things that I'm working on, some ebooks and things like that, because I realize I'm one person. I do a lot of lives and things like that. I know everybody's not on social media. People like to, read things in their hand. And so that is something I'm working on. I do understand that, but it takes time, right?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
big on writing your story. It's not just about, financial literacy. I tell my fiance all the time, we should all write our story. We should all, because that's one thing they cannot take away from it. If you write your own story, and there's a part 1, 2, and 3, and it's forever in the Library of Congress. Nobody can tell your story but you. We should all be writing. I don't care if you think, I can't write. Man, listen, sit down and write so that when your great grandkids say, who was Pierre? Who was my great granddaddy? Oh, wow. He was a philanthropist. Oh my God, my granddaddy was in the Oh my God. Do you understand what that means to us? But here I am searching on Ancestry just to get a glimpse of a signature from one of my ancestors. You know what I mean? And it makes me feel, oh my God, that's my grandparents' marriage license. That's what I get. But we need to start writing our own stories. So yeah, write your story. If I can tell anybody, I know we only hear about financial literacy. Man, write your story. Make sure you tell your story, because you know how it is when they tell our story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And when they tell their own.
So if someone is seeking financial advice or looking for a financial advisor, how can they find you?
I am not a financial advisor, so let me make sure you say that. Okay, financial advisor, investing and all that, I don't, advise. I'll send them someone else that's their expertise. But to find me, you can reach me online at Fit Financial, FINANCIAL Consulting, on Instagram as well as Facebook. You can, my links are there, literally. I'm connected there. You can book consultation, whether it's a business consultation or a personal consultation. I'm even looking for a business partner. Right? If you want to learn how to do this and how to help other people, I am there for that as well. But I am available there, online, Instagram, Facebook, and,
All right.
email, all of that.
I'll be booking my appointment ASAP. ASAP. I need all that.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Diera, we thank you so much for coming on the show,
Yes.
telling us your story,
Thank
giving
you.
an advice, giving back, all that.
For sure.
Like I said, this has probably been the most informative,
Yeah.
Thank you.
definitely the most informative show we've had.
I'm so glad you reached out. That was
Thank you.
that was what
I'm
that
excited. I saw you guys, and I said, wow, I love, I love the name first. It was the name there. And I was like, giving away game, give the game away. That is so like what I'm about. Give it away.
Yeah,
Come
give it
on,
away.
man, give it away.
Because we both really about helping people. That's really what the whole purpose.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Give it away. So I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with your audience and to connect with you guys and your audience as well. This has been absolutely amazing and I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm hoping to come back.
Yes, we definitely have you back. Absolutely. All that knowledge you got, we couldn't have crammed it into an hour.
No.
Yeah, we need all that. You know what? We're going to have fiance on the show, too.
Right.
Because he the man, too. So we got to
For sure.
we have to have him on the show, too.
Scenes.
Yeah.
Right.
We have to have all that.
Yeah.
So we thank y'all so much. Oh, wait. I forgot. So we at the end of every show, we do a segment that we call where we actually give some game away.
Okay.
Now, you've been giving game away for about an hour, for real. You know what I mean? And, usually we each have our take, but we go give this one to you today.
Okay.
So if you what would be your number one piece of financial advice that you can give to someone?
If you want to start a business and you're really contemplating and you got these business goals, okay? I would say start the business now. I know I mentioned that before. Let me explain why. A big part of business and building business credit and acquiring credit is the time the business has been established. A lot of times we want to work out, buy a product and do all this, research. We haven't written a business plan. We haven't done anything. And a lot of times we want to, jump the gun before we need to, and that's where we lose, right? Start the business. Just start it, right? And then work out the kinks. And because that time means a lot. And when I say don't just start the business, your business is not established until you start that bank account. So when you start that business, be ready to start that bank account and leave the minimum of whatever it takes to keep that account open. Some are $5, some is $100, but that $100 is worth it to keep that bank. Just let it sit, right? Now you're absolutely an established business. So when someone says, "How long have you been in business?" It's that day. And that's what matters. That's when the bank account was open, or, maybe within that week or whatever, right? And that's when this business was started. And that matters a lot. Then you can start building and things like that. So that is the number one thing I would say. There's so much more. I was just trying to think of something. But when it comes to building business credit, start the business.
Start that business.
Start the business.
Yes.
That's deep.
Yeah.
It's like simple but deep. It's
Yeah.
like,
It really is.
I like
Start
that.
that
Yes.
business. Because you do hear so many people have these ideas, and I'm pretty sure like we have ideas, things we want to start, things we want to do. But like you say, people be kind of scared, because you're not sure what it's going to take, what it's going to tell, all that type of stuff. But start that business. I like that.
Start the business. Because, if it doesn't pan out and, a couple of years you're like, we ain't doing this business. Dissolve it online with Missouri and keep it pushing,
Right.
It's like, it doesn't hurt you, but it will help in the long run. And, that's the biggest thing. That's one of the biggest issues that you run into, is people get into it and they get started and they bought product and they're saying, I just started my business last week. And you're like, but you've been doing it online for a year. What happened? That is really important. So, goodness, start that business. Please, start it.
Start that business. You got any important words?
She said everything, man. Everything I got to say is questions. Like I got it. So,
Yeah.
but for sure, we
enough time in the day.
definitely appreciate you coming.
Absolutely.
This was definitely
Absolutely.
needed. I know, because like I said, like finances are a big part, and it's a conversation everybody needs to have.
Yes.
Scared to have sometimes, or don't even know they need to have it. They just think like, oh, love will we'll make it. So.
Yes.
But really got to be like, what's that Tia Turner movie? Like, what's love got to do with it? After a while, once the money gone, the love will go right the door with it, man, for real. Like,
And then they won't like you no more. They gonna still love you.
yeah.
But they ain't gonna like
They
you.
ain't gonna like you no more.
You're preaching about that. Like,
I
that's
heard a
real.
comedian say that. It may say, man, better fall into life.
Right.
Love, get your windows busted. So I was like, but that's real.
Right, right.
great.
Like,
Yeah.
so, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, David, thank you, Miss De'Ara.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Yes,
Absolutely.
thank you.
So
Thank you so
this giving away game, y'all. Miss
Giving
De'Ara
away
on the
game.
show. Thanks to Miss De'Ara. Thanks to fiance the man too. He behind the camera, y'all. Y'all can't see it. He behind the camera.
Behind
He hear it. Yeah, he hear it. So thanks again. We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.
In-house production.